Where there is no plan, the people get destroyed. Solomon David, 970 to 931 BC. Document the plan. Make it understandable upon paper, that he may be guided who reads it. Habakkuk, 612 BC. Every story must have a beginning.
We are told that in the beginning there was darkness upon the earth. The earth needed some light. Then the master planner stepped in.
Let there be light. Separate the land from the water above and below.
The beauty of the earth began to emerge. Beautiful natural landscapes, mountains and lovely oceans.
Notice that everything on earth was in disarray until the master planner brought order. You see, what happened as creation was planning. Physical planning.
And physical planning creates order. By creating order, physical planning promotes increase, helping us to maximize productivity and manage resources better. Through the promotion of order, physical planning supports convenience, always giving safety and comfort top priority. Still, physical planning utilizes order to facilitate continuous movement, creating access even when there are bottlenecks. And yet, order births beauty. So, proper physical planning will never destroy beauty.
Rather, it increases value while making it easier to provide services.
Interestingly, there exists an inverse but devastating relationship between planning-induced order and the degenerative conditions that fill a planning vacuum. Chaos, a disorganized and confusing environment, traffic congestion, pollution, and climate change.
So, what is planning about? What does planning do?
Planning resolves conflict. It sets a pattern of order. It structures our future. It allocates land resources between conflicting or competing uses. It harmonizes various interests, creates a balanced development, and makes the environment economically sustainable. This is crucial because most stakeholders often have conflicting land use interests: health, food or agriculture, clothing, housing, employment, education, recreation, and transportation. We need utilities, water, electricity, telecommunications, and waste management. We need places of worship, places to meditate, and finally, every human being needs a resting place. Imagine attending an event in a hall, piled with seats in disarray. Now, imagine the same hall with defined aisles and bays of neatly arranged seats with accompanying psychological and functional relief. And you begin to get a strong visual idea of what planning is.
All beautiful and functional human settlements are the result of proper physical planning.
We have many examples of how planning has driven desirable changes in cities around the world. The Boat Quay in Singapore in 1960 is different from what it is now. So also the Clark Quay which is radically different from its form in the 1960s. In Dubai, we see how planning can transform a desert into one of the world's greatest attractions over a reasonable number of years. In our own Nigeria, what we used to know as Tinubu Square in the 60s is very different from its post-2011 form. That is what physical planning can do. We must align our plans for our cities and human settlements with the choice of what we want them to become. We must either organize or agonize.
Planning gives us a pathway to whatever we want. The relationship between the different levels of physical planning is like the progressive viewpoint from an airplane. At a point, Nigeria appears like a dot, but as you come closer, it magnifies. By the time the airplane lands, you cannot see more than the building in front of you. That is how planning is. So we need a national plan, a national physical development plan for Nigeria, one that can tell us how our state capitals are connected, how our airports throughout the nations are connected. These are some of the components of a national physical development plan. Then, subnational or regional development plans. A good use case for subnational plans is a physical development plan for each of Nigeria's 6 geopolitical zones. And there are sub-regional development plans. A whole state is a region on its own, and its physical development plan should harmonize how all the cities and towns and villages and hamlets in a state are connected. A state regional plan, or any plan for that matter, helps to balance development. The state plan dovetails into master plans of cities. From a master plan, we can develop district plans covering a smaller area, and then local plans covering even smaller sections. Action plans are then crafted to address issues like urban renewal or drainage. Then there are layout plans, which are more popular but are only smaller components of a larger plan. There are also subject plans and neighborhood plans. Neighborhood plan sets the restraints needed for a site plan, the foundation for a building plan. Many do not know that it takes time for plans to get implemented. That is why they encroach on areas that plans have designated for other uses. This must stop. In the light of the variety and importance of physical development plans, what should our role be as citizens? We should find our voice and use the media to not only express our dreams of livable settlements, but also enlighten others to join the campaign for sustainable living. Who then are the other participants and collaborators in physical planning and development? All administrators, the president of a nation, governors, local government chairmen, policymakers, because they are in charge of our limited resources. Then, urban planners, surveyors, all engineers, architects, urban designers, landscape designers, sociologists, economists, financial experts, archaeologists, communicators are also key stakeholders. Finally, innovators, and then the people themselves. Everybody should be concerned about having a livable settlement.
In developing and executing plans, we must take into consideration the following factors which influence the effectiveness and sustainability of physical planning. 1. The willingness to invest in physical planning. 2. The commitment to implement plans. 3. The need to build and maintain relationships with stakeholders. 4. The need to encourage a sense of ownership of settlements and their components. 5. The recognition of human settlements as living organisms, subject to change, growth, and evolution.
Interestingly, the story of physical planning has no end. Only desirable outcomes at the close of each act and scene. offering us cogent lessons as stakeholders. Lesson 1. Planning precedes development. An administrator should therefore not declare the intention to build a road without a plan in place. Lesson 2. Citizens' participation and stakeholders' engagement guarantees inclusiveness. Those in government must realize that they are holding the resources of the Commonwealth in trust for every one of us.
In conclusion, there are two feasible choices here: order or chaos. The preferred choice is order. Thank you.